Good afternoon, folks. Mike Wells, your World Explorer. Today we're going to go ahead and look at some of the details of this bottle. Yes, very controversial topic. Insecticides. Okay? Insecticides used on the garden. Alright, so Spectracide, bug stop, home barrier. Up to 12-month control. I don't believe that 12-month stuff because I know some facts about the particular active chemical that is in this bottle right here. So let's take a look. So right here on the bottom it will tell you active ingredients. Okay, let's get a good zoom. Boom, and it's such a minuscule amount. Gamma cyhalothrin, and then other ingredients, probably mostly water. Okay, so we know the active ingredient is gamma cyhalothrin. We also know too that right here it tells you water-based clear formula. So basically it has almost no other ingredients in here except for water. But that gamma cyhalothrin is really, that's all you need. It's just a little bit to make a difference. It is actually used throughout the world on a wide range of crops. It's referred to as a pyrethroid. You say to yourself, what is a pyrethroid? Well, a pyrethroid is an organic compound similar to natural pyrethrins, which are produced by the flowers of pyrethrums. Now here's something important to note. Pyrethroids are the least toxic of most synthetic insecticides used in farming to date. Now gamma cyhalothrin is not expected to leach to groundwater based on its chemical properties. That's a positive. It is not persistent in soil systems. What is a soil system? Basically, that's the different microorganisms that exist in your soil which create a soil system. It is also not persistent in aqueous systems. What is an aqueous system? That's just a water system. Now, important to note is it has low solubility in water, so basically it's not very water soluble. It can break down through hydrolysis, which is the chemical breakdown of a chemical due to reactions with water. It also breaks down through photolysis, which is the chemical breakdown of a chemical when it comes into contact with sunlight. Now that does not necessarily mean only sunlight, basically light in general, but specifically UV light. So we know that hydrolysis and photolysis are responsible for the chemical breakdown of gamma cyhalothrin insecticide. Now we're going to go over some not so pleasant facts as well. It has a high mammalian toxicity and some concern regarding its potential to bioaccumulate. That means accumulate inside of your organ systems. It is also a neurotoxicant, capable of causing adverse effects in the central and peripheral nervous system. It is highly toxic to honeybees and many aquatic organisms. So the honeybee factoid is a negative, in my opinion. So another factoid is this decomposes before it reaches a boil. So that means that heat exposure also breaks it down faster. Now there have been some farm animal feeding studies conducted where it was found to be fat soluble. of residues. Also, studies in labs show that there's a 90% excretion of chemical in rats and dogs within 48 hours through their urine and their feces. Now, soil degradation. This would be aerobic soil degradation. The typical amount of time it takes for aerobic soil degradation of gamma cyhalothrin is 27 days. Now, that's just a moderate amount of use. That's important to note. And that's in the soil, not in the crop. So the degradation inside of soil in a large field, that study has been conducted as well, many of those actually, and the average was 136 days. But they also administered a higher concentration of gamma cyhalothrin than you would administer out of this bottle in your own home garden. And the tests were at 68 degrees Fahrenheit with a pH of 7. Now, a pH of 5 equals stable, so therefore this would have remained in the soil a lot longer at a pH of 5. At a pH of 9, the degradation rate increased dramatically. So it only took 1.1 days for the degradation to occur. Now, there are specific human health issues that come along with consuming this product. That's if you don't take the precautionary measures to ensure that you're not actually going to consume this product. Reproduction development effects. It's a neurotoxicant. We already know that. It's a skin irritant, an eye irritant, and possible lung and liver toxicant. So basically, don't purposely try to consume this chemical, and take the precautionary measures in the necessary amount of time for this to degrade before you go consuming your crops. So other studies have found that crops have been treated with gamma cyhalothrin in farming. Residues on lettuce samples direct from farms decreased from 4.2 milligrams per kilogram on day 1 to 0.2 milligrams per kilogram on day 7, and then 0.000 on day 9. Other farms had an exposure of 0.2 milligrams per kilogram at 14 days after last application. All considered safe for consumption. Anything under 0.5 is safe for consumption. Now, mammals have poor dermal absorption of the chemical and rapidly metabolize the chemical. The misuse and overuse of pyrethroids can still lead to food contamination and pose health hazards to consumers. Like I said, don't purposely consume this. And based on the facts from these different controlled studies that I'm presenting to you here today, you should be able to avoid 100% consuming this chemical. Another study, 73.2% of the chemical degraded in 7 days in non-sterile soil, as opposed to 12% in sterile soil. 83.7% degraded in 20 days in the non-sterile soil, as opposed to 64% in the sterile soil. Manure added increased degradation pace dramatically. The conclusion is that microorganisms break down gamma cyhalothrin faster than soils lacking microorganisms. So folks, my conclusion for myself here today is that I am going to continue using Spectracide Bug Stop Home Barrier on my crops, as it meets all of the expectations and conditions that I was looking for. So some important qualities. Gamma cyhalothrin breaks down not only from sunlight and from exposure to water, but also from the microbes in your good soil. So if you have junk soil, which I have a lot of around here, it won't break down as fast. But I'm changing the conditions within my soil so that it will be fertile and very organically rich soil, where the microbes will be present in the soil and will help break down the gamma cyhalothrin a lot faster. Now, if I give it enough time from the last application to when I go to harvest, then I should have zero exposure to the actual chemical. Plus, if you wash your vegetables or your fruits, there really should be no issue. Now, it's going to be a little bit tougher with lettuces and cabbages as the chemical gets in the crevices, but it shouldn't be a big issue because several of the studies were done using lettuces and cabbage. So basically, this is the safest product on the market, and considering that this chemical is naturally produced by flowers, I think that that's another positive. That makes this even closer to organic. Even though this is a synthetic form of that chemical, it's still close to organic. Folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as that helps the channel out quite a bit. And stay tuned, as I'll keep you updated on the progress of all of the different crops that we're trying to grow here on the property. Have a good day.